Hey, what's up, DFS Rico, coming at you with my picks and insight for this LPL LCK 5-game slate on Friday, April 10th. Before I get started, if you can subscribe, comment at the end of the video if you got any questions. Let's get to it. So early on, you got your big favorites, Fun plus Phoenix and T1 are your biggest favorites on the slate. Fun plus Phoenix has been playing really good all season. They haven't dropped a match since January. Then they had the little thing with the coronavirus going on. That's why the season was all skipped, but they haven't dropped any matches since then. So, they're practically the biggest favorites on the slate for a reason. And then you got T1, which are the second biggest favorites, which are playing KT. KT was playing pretty good at one point, and then they dropped the last two matches. They were like on a 7-game winning streak, 7-match winning streak, and they just kind of been crashing lately. Mainly due in part because they're just practically their AD carries, the only really good player on the team. And he hasn't been playing too well these last two matches. And then other favorites you got is Top Esports over Billy Gaming, and then you got Dominus Esports over V5, which V5 is terrible. Dominus, I believe, are like the most expensive players on the slate just because V5 has only won one game all season. They've won 1 out of 25 games. Haven't won any matches. So I can see me playing them in cash as well. I don't think they have that much upside though for GPPs, but in cash, I see no issue with it. Both bad teams in my opinion though. Just one's worse than the other. And then I think that's it. And Dragon X over Dam1 Gaming, which is probably the closest game on the slate as far as odds. Dam1 was playing good at one point. They were on a 4-match win streak. Then they just dropped the ball against Griffin yesterday. So we'll see how they bounce back. And then Dragon X came off a big win versus Genji Esports, which was the #1 team on in the LCK. So that's really good. And they're on a 4-match win streak. Played some good teams. They beat the team that just beat Dam1 Gaming. And then SB Sandbox, and then KT Rolster, and then Genji. So they're playing really well right now. Mainly due in part to Def. Their AD carry is really good. But I'm just gonna run through the teams and who I would play in cash and GPPs. I like FunPlus, Top Esports, T1, and Dragon, all for cash, honestly. Probably FunPlus Phoenix is my favorite for cash, and then you can practically fill them in with anyone from Top Esports or Dragon X or T1, whichever way you really want to go. I really believe all 4 of them win. DRX will have the toughest matchup, but I still think they win. Safest matchup for sure is FunPlus Phoenix and T1 in my opinion, if you really want to play it super safe for cash. GPPs, I don't really like any of these teams. I don't see Vici Gaming winning. Maybe KT if Aiming has a huge game against T1, or maybe even Dam1 Gaming over DRX. It's practically the only places I would look. Victory 5, even if they win, their players just aren't that good, so I don't even see them having like high scores anyways. So that's where I'm looking. Like I mentioned, DMO's the most expensive players on the slate. You have to look who starts for FPX, whether it's Khan or Gimgoon. Khan started the last match. Didn't do much, 51 fantasy points. In a 2-0 sweep, that's with the 20 plus bonus, which is not good at all. But good play at 6,600 for the favorited team. And you'll probably need to save since the carries are really expensive on that team. Then you got Kana for T1, like I mentioned, in cash. 14.6 assists per match, not too bad. And another guy I'll mention that I like is Doron for 6K. Has a good ceiling. He has the 80-90 point ceiling for a top laner, which isn't too bad. In a game that I think is going to be pretty highly competitive. Could go to 3 games. And then junglers, you got Xiao Peng if you're playing the hugest favorites on the slate. You're going to want to include him. Practically 90 points plus in every victory this season for them. He had 90 points last game out in the loss, but for the most part in victory, he's a key part in their success. You can see Tion for FunPlus Phoenix. Good player, 20.5 assists per match, pretty consistent. across the board. Honestly, he's kind of giving you 75 plus every time he goes out there. And then you got Karsa for TES. He's one player I'd focus on if I am gonna be playing top esports. For sure, top. He's one player I would make sure I include in my stacks. And then depending who starts for T1, Kuz did start tonight, so I assume he's probably got his roll back because Elim did start the night before, the last game out, and they got 2-0 with him in the lineup. So maybe they're just gonna go back to what's been working before that. And then Pyosic, if I'm playing DRX, I like him at 16.9 assists per match, 6.2 kills per match. It's not bad. Like I mentioned, it should be a competitive game. I think that's really it. Mid, doing B up top at 8k, 16.8 assists per match, 11.9 kills per match. Leads the slate on player of the games. Really good. I think he has like 11, so usually in victories, he's practically the main reason they're winning. I think he has the highest upside in this slate. Well, it's between him and Knight for top esports. Top esports had 136. Knight had 136 points versus Suning Gaming a couple matches ago. Really good ceiling. I like him if I'm gonna be stacking top esports. He's the key guy I would want in there. Him and Karsa together, and then maybe like running it back with the team. As a 3-man stack, looks good for me. And then Faker, just a nice safe pick. Honestly, he's gonna get you like 70 fantasy points every time he goes out there in a victory. And cash, that'll work. He's not too pricey either for 7.2 in a matchup where he's heavily favored. Chovy for DRX is another player I'd play if I am playing Dragon X. Has the second highest ceiling on his team behind their AD carry. Just put up 102 fantasy points last time out. And then I think that's really it. Like I mentioned, I don't really like none of the underdogs today. I really don't. And then LWX for Flumpless Phoenix, 15.9 assists per match, 10.8 kills per match, not bad. Teddy, if I'm playing T1, is probably the key piece I would play for T1. He's just their most consistent player as far as like getting kills and assists, and their highest ceiling on the team for sure. Then Fodic for top esports, high ceiling, 140 points against Suning. That was just a crazy game, but it's nothing too special. I do like him though, but I think they did lose. Yeah, they lost their last time out versus Team WE, so they might actually make the transition over to Jackie Love. And if Jackie Love does play, I will have a lot of interest in him. Really good player, one of the best AD carries in the world, honestly. Just hasn't been playing because I believe they just kept riding Fodic because they were on a 5-match win streak. So why change up what's been working at the time? And then if I am going for the underdog for DWG, Ghost is a key piece I would include in there. Highest ceiling on his team for sure. And then, like I mentioned for KT, if I'm going with the underdog, I am going to be playing Aiming. Has been playing good the last 3 matches. Before that, he was 102, 109, 98. That winning streak, he was just on fire. If he could get back to that level, it might give him a chance to win. In GPPs at least, not in cash. And Crisp for FPX rounds out the supports for 6k. Kui for top esports. Carrier, if I'm playing Dragon X, he's one guy I'd make sure I include. And I didn't mention his partner, I'd make sure I pair him up with Deft for sure. Carrier and Deft, when Deft is playing good in the bottom lane, it's usually because Carrier is having a really good game. 22.4 assists per match. He's no slouch in that bottom lane. It's practically getting you 20 plus assists in this win streak that they've been on, in the 4-match win streak, which is really good. I could see them 2-0ing as well, so that'll get that 20-point bonus. Effort for T1, a little underpriced in my opinion for really good support. I think that's really it. Burial, if you're going to be playing Ghosts for them as well. Nice little combo down there. Did terrible, negative 1.36 last match, but I could see him bouncing back if they do win. And I think that's really it. I mean, I'll run through like a quick stack that I would play if I am playing cash. I'd make sure I include in cash. I do like playing maybe Deft, pairing him up with Carrier for sure, and then either I mean, if you're gonna stack them up with Fun plus Phoenix, I'd make sure you include Do and B in there, so you might not be able to play Chovy. So, but just for maybe like a 3-man stack, um, I would include them too, and probably their team or their top laner. Doron is the way I would go, just because he was only 6K. So like that's something I would look at for like a cash, like baseline at least. And I think you'd be able to round it out with like, if you're playing Fun plus Phoenix, you'd probably be able to put TN in, doing B, the team, Fun plus Phoenix, since they're practically the heaviest favorite, and then you got 9,800 left, which will probably be able to make you fit. Um, let's see. Anyone from DRX, T1, or FPX is practically what I would look. And that'll probably be someone like, oh, not DWG. You could play Chris for 9K, and that'll pretty much be like a safe cash lineup. I mean, usually that's what I end up on when I'm playing really safe cash lineups, is a support or a top laner in the captain spot. And that's usually how I play my cash lineup. It's 4-3s, favorites. So this is like something I would play probably for a cash lineup for sure. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Thank you.